everyone, and welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Olga Verde.
And I'm Montel Williams.
Today's show is all about ways to improve our health. Help for moms dealing with postpartum depression.
And reducing superficial surgical site infections.
We've got so much to talk about. It all starts
right now.
Today, we're focusing on maternal mental health, shining a light on postpartum depression, or PPD, which affects 20% of women. It's normal to not feel okay after the birth of a child, and thankfully, digital health products are a new form of aid that can augment and help fill a gap in the healthcare industry. I'm loving this.
Absolutely. And joining us today for more information is Dr. Shailja Dixit, CEO of Curio Digital Therapeutics. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
today.
you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely.
And I'm so glad we're talking about this, doctor, because a lot of people don't like to talk about postpartum depression. I know it's real and it's really misunderstood. There's a lot of misconceptions about it, right? And even with women that are working, women that stay home, everybody.
Absolutely. So as you said in introduction, about 20% of the women suffer from postpartum depression. But when you look at postpartum blues, that's a wider range. About 40% of the women experience mental health related issues, either in pregnancy or right after birth.
Wow.
The typical symptoms happen around 4 to 6 weeks after birth. The symptoms can be loss of appetite, feeling low, not having interest in the things that you used to like, and so on.
Wow. Right now, there's this social stigma against women who say that they even suffer from postpartum depression. That's a real big problem. That's why you created this paradigm, right?
So we at Curio Digital Therapeutics are focused on women's mental health. So we want to increase awareness that even high-functioning women, celebrities out there, have had postpartum depression. If you take care of it and address it in a timely fashion, it does not make you a bad mom. So that's the stigma associated with postpartum depression that we want to take care of.
And we should take care of it because in the long run, there could be some ramifications, right? Between mom and child or mom. So you came up with a great idea. It's called Mama Lift. Don't you love it?
So Olga, it is a lift. Right? It is a lift of mental and behavioral health because
so important.
Everything starts with a mind-body connection. So that's really, really important, lifting a mom and lifting her mental and behavioral health status. That's the focus of the company. And that's what we want every mom to know, that there are some aid out there that they can use. Simply go and register into mymamalift.com. It's a very personalized digital journey which comes to you. So you don't have to go out and seek help, in your environment. So it takes care of the stigma aspect. It's affordable and scalable. That's another very important thing. And it's very personalized. So all mom has to do is spend 10 minutes. It gives her the tools and aids and educational material to take care of her lift, and feel better through this journey. It's a 5-week to 8-week module, depending on where you are and how you're feeling. And in this process, you track your sleep, you track the things that you like. So we call it like activities. And if you're feeling better, you'll do more of the activities that you like. That's the whole idea.
But this is also a tool that I think fathers, mother-in-laws, sisters, brothers, they all need to know about, just in case they're the ones who detect those symptoms, even though the mother doesn't detect them, right?
Absolutely. Family and societal support is very important. So our goal is to spread awareness and have anyone who's around the mom, fathers, friends, to know about this tool as well.
And it's so easy where it just takes you through the activities and basically 10 minutes could make such a huge difference.
Absolutely. We fully understood that, mom does not have more time, right? So it's 10 minutes when your baby's sleeping or you're just relaxing. That's all is required and can have a change. Every aspect that we have in our digital platform is clinically validated, has been studied extensively in many, many studies. So we know that it has an impact and shows a difference.
I love this. I wish I had this, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Well, now, where can people go to get more information?
So people can go to mymamalift.com, as I said, MAMA for Mama Lift. And they can find us at many social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, and our own website as well.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for being here, Doctor.
Thank you.
So
Really
appreciate your time. And then after you do Mama
Lift.
Lift Mental, then you do the Mama Lift.
Absolutely. Remember, you can
There you
always go to our website, thebalancingAct.com, for more info also.
We'll be right back.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
When it comes to surgery, there are always risks involved.
And today, we're talking about surgical closed incision management therapy that can help improve the outcomes for high-risk patients, including high-risk orthopedic patients, and advance the standard in care in this field.
So joining us today is Dr. John Cooper. He's an orthopedic surgeon at Columbia University Irving Medical Center. Dr. Cooper, by the way, is a paid consultant for 3M.
Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, doctor. Let's just talk first about surgery in general. There can be complications during and after, correct?
Correct. Any surgery carries with it some degree of risk of a postoperative complication. The most common things that happen in any surgery can be bleeding, risk of blood clots afterward. But one thing that we all worry about as surgeons is the risk of a delayed wound healing complication that can lead to a surgical site infection.
And describe what is a high-risk patient. I mean, tell us what happens to these patients during surgery.
Thankfully, Montel, the risks of a surgical site infection are quite low with most surgeries, but there are patients that we all recognize who might be at an elevated risk of a surgical site complication or a surgical site infection. And the patients that are at that elevated risk are those who carry certain risk factors like obesity, like diabetes, people who may smoke, and particularly those who have an immunosuppressive condition where their immune system isn't functioning quite as well because of a medication that they may take or because they may have a certain medical condition.
And doctor, if somebody's a high-risk patient, how do you help them reduce that risk besides telling them stop smoking?
Exactly. That's a great point. The most important thing that we can do as surgeons is to work with patients on preoperative optimization, meaning changing anything that we can leading into surgery that may reduce that elevated risk down to a more normal level.
Now let's talk about something that you use in surgery that also helps reduce this risk.
Even with preoperative optimization, where we try to reduce that risk heading into surgery, there are still patients who remain at an elevated risk. So there are certain things that we do as surgeons that can help reduce that risk further in these high-risk patients. One thing that I've been using since 2014 is this device, Prevena Therapy. It's a closed incision negative pressure therapy device, which is the first device approved by the FDA at reducing the risk of superficial surgical site infection in high-risk patients.
Now, wait, how does this device work?
Right, so this is a disposable, single-use negative pressure therapy device. It's intended to be applied up to 7 days after surgery. I put it on in the operating room after I finish closing the incision, and it applies negative pressure to that incision. It helps to hold the edges together, and it helps to remove any fluid or exudate that may come out of the incision or any infectious materials to help reduce that risk further. It's something that we've studied at our center and across the country with other centers and have written a number of publications about it.
Walk me through in terms of what we're looking at here, doctor, if you don't mind.
Right, so there are 2 sizes available here. There's a third size available of what we call a peel-in-place device, which simply means we unpeel the backing and stick it right on top of the closed incision.
Okay.
And there's a more customizable form for more complex shaped incisions. Any of these can hook to this source of negative pressure, which has a canister that can hold any fluid or exudate that may come out of the incision.
Doctor, you had mentioned 7 days. How long is the therapy actually applied?
It's applied for a minimum of 2 days, up to 7 days. A patient can certainly do their normal daily activities with this in place, and they can take a light shower as long as the device is disconnected from the power source.
That's fantastic.
Any final thoughts?
This is a prescription-only product, so if a patient is interested in it, they should certainly consult with their surgeon.
Okay, and I mean, like, I know our viewers are going to be really interested in this because a lot of them may have some pre-scheduled surgeries coming up.
Absolutely.
Where do they go to get more information?
I would recommend going to the Prevena for Patients website.
Fantastic.
Great. Thank you so much
doctor.
for being here.
Appreciate
very
your
much.
time.
Absolutely.
And if you'd like more information, you can go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
And of course, we'll be back right after this. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Remember to head to our Facebook page, like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and visit thebalancingact.com to enter our latest sweepstake or giveaway.
And you know what you got to do? You got to take care of that family of yours. We'll see you next time.